Gentlemen, welcome back to the University of Smooth. I'm your host, Nixon the Dark, the internet's leading expert on unattractive behavior. How many of you guys found your way to this channel because you were consuming a lot of what I'll call anger phase content? I suspect you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are tons and tons and tons of content creators on YouTube and other forms of social media who specialize in making videos about women complaining about where all the good men have gone, women crying their eyes out because some dude left them, some dude rejected them. You have this feeling of comeuppance for these women who have been, say, arrogantly promiscuous with all of these hot dudes in their 20s and beyond. And then maybe when they're in their 30s, late 30s, maybe even early 40s, are suddenly now trying to lock down some semi-invisible man, some man whose value was on the bubble until it became a perfect opportunity for them. This content is cathartic for a lot of men because women have been behaving awfully in the sexual marketplace. But do not expect women to suddenly come to their senses, realize how horrible they've been behaving, and decide that they're going to get right with the men in their lives and do things differently. I like to call this the great sex correction. Women are suffering to an extreme degree from their own self-destructive and selectively promiscuous behavior. That is not your problem to solve. It is not my problem to solve. Further, if your strategy is to wait this out until female behavior becomes so awful in the sexual marketplace that they suddenly recognize the error of their ways and start to adjust their standards downward and become aware for the first time how all of these good men were around them the whole time and they just failed to realize it until now, dude, that's not going to happen. Women are not going to suddenly change their tune about this behavior. The women who are recognizing and paying the price for having behaved this way are a little bit older than their younger sisters who are taking advantage of their max fertility window. And those women in their max fertility window, they are not paying any attention to the women in their 30s and 40s who may be trying to tell them to wise up. Women do not operate this way. The machine is not designed for this. They will continue to blame men for all of these problems that they may be experiencing and suffering from. That's fine. That's what women do. It's how they process emotions. It is not your problem. But your solution is always to build your own value. There's a few different reasons why waiting around for this grand sex correction to take place is a terrible strategy. First, have you built your own value such that you know that you are attractive in the sexual marketplace? We know the deck is stacked against you, logistics are stacked against you, and social institutions basically been longhousing you for decades into pretty much almost outright rebellion. You still have to build your own value. Whatever value that you have left on the table, that is not going to help you when you navigate the sexual marketplace. Second, if waiting is your strategy, there will be women who suddenly come to their senses, at least insofar as they realize they're going to have to lock some man down in order to avoid spending the rest of their lives alone and childless. That may be you. And for a time, it may even look like the kind of desire that you really want from women. But if that comes around for you, you have to recognize that it may be a woman with baby rabies who is subconsciously adjusting her standards until the right man fits. The way you can tell if this is happening is whether you've been building your own value. If you have not been doing the things you need to do to cultivate your own value, and you're seeing one girl suddenly come to her senses, or maybe only a couple, as opposed to a lot of women suddenly finding you more attractive, then you may simply represent an opportunity. And by the way, this is the upside of waiting around for the great sex correction. We advise you to build your own value for you. The machine is not any different than it was back in those traditional times. Women still find the same things attractive. They still want the same kind of value in their lives, and men still must perform according to their own standards. We always say you do this for you. You do not do it for women. But when you do it for yourself, women will find you more attractive. So building your own value is your solution. Waiting, if you try and wait this out, not only are you not cultivating your own value, but the dudes who have recognized that this is a winning play, at least to maximize their opportunities, they're out there building their own value. And as they say, the rich get richer. Do not leave your own value on the table. And for what it's worth, dude, never bank on a woman changing her behavior as your strategy. That's just a little lesson in life that will serve you well. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and as we say, build your own value for you. Take care.